Well, Lord Grimstone made a very interesting observation right at the beginning where he said that in the past it was the coal-led industrial revolution, and now we are looking at green-led industrial revolution. There's one country which is leading the charge, which is India. And I would like to share what Prime Minister Modi had actually said at Davos Agenda 2022, where he had clearly laid out the approach of India growth story for next 25 years. He said it's going to be green, clean, as well as sustainable and reliable. So the man who's helping in translating Prime Minister's vision into reality is our next guest, Honorable Minister for Environment, Forest, Climate Change, Labour and Employment at Government of India, Minister Bhupendra Yadav, and he's going to join us virtually from Delhi. So welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So namaskar, sir. I'll focus my conversation on three topics, which we have around 150 odd guests, senior stakeholders in this room, and thousands of us joining virtually, listening to you, care about. So those three topics which I would like to have discussion with you on is how India is going to balance its growth with green agenda, how India will balance its domestic ambition of green and growth with the global green ambition, and last but not least, your expectation from COP27. So let me start with the first of balancing growth versus green, which has been a big topic of discussion within India. So India is on path to become a $5 trillion economy in coming years. So if we look at world economic history, rapid economic growth always led to climate crisis, as we have seen that. So as a responsible democracy, how will India plan to achieve the fine balance of rapid economic growth at the same time keeping the world clean?
Thank you very much for inviting me in this program. Let me begin by thanking you for having me at this Climate Finance and Technology Summit organized to discuss such a critical issue. As we know, that climate change is not some disaster waiting for us in the future, it is our current reality. As you talked about what is the Indian strategy about this green economy and climate finance is concerned, I want to mention you, yesterday our Prime Minister announced a good statement yesterday, and he said that today a huge market for clean energy and technology is emerging in India. He also appealed to the G7 countries that in the field of research, innovation, and manufacturing, the scale of India can provide for every new technology can make the technology affordable for the whole world. The core theories of the circular economy have been the integral part of Indian culture and lifestyle. After quoted this, our Honorable Prime Minister quote, I want to say that India is relying mainly on domestic resource to implement adaptation and mitigation action on mission mode. The national circumstances demanded the first priority for India is adaptation, being a country high vulnerable to the extreme weather events. For that, in the last Glasgow COP26, our Prime Minister announced the Panchamrat. And in the Panchamrat, India has also announced its ambitious target of 500 gigawatt. The other also announced by our Prime Minister goals definitely achievable, and India is making a policy like that we are working on that goal. India has also entered agreement with UK in May 2021 on different on so many issues like smart and sustainable urbanization, climate, clean energy and transport, adaptation and resilience, and that thing is also working in the field also. So with this, India has an ambitious target to reduce the emission intensity of its GDP by less than 45% by the end of decade and net zero by 2070. So this will ensure India's green growth along with economic development.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So one key takeaway I can actually take from your comments is that in India under your leadership and Prime Minister Modi's leadership, so the whole green agenda is in a mission mode. And we have seen that when India get into the mission mode nowadays, we make it happen. So I'm pretty confident that the target set by the Prime Minister and your ministry will be achieved soon. You also talked about something very interesting is the Panchamrit and how the India can give it to the world. So I just wanted to share some thoughts. When I look at the India growth story and India success story around sustainable finance, it has happened despite a lot of constraints, historic legacy, resource constraint, and at the same time have the big aspirational need. Okay. And still we managed to achieve. I'm just looking at some numbers that, which you also quoted, that we achieved 40% of energy capacity from non-fossil energy 9 years before time. So we have first full-fledged airport which runs on solar power. By 2030, the ambition is to go the railway green with complete solar and renewable energy. So these success stories have come on back of a lot of constraints. And if you look across the world, a lot of countries are facing similar kind of constraints. And I feel India is in a position to give it back and help those countries to achieve that. So I would like to know from your side and your perspective, how can India play a leadership role in helping other countries achieve their own climate ambition?
Uh, yes, the rightly question raised by you. Uh, First of all, I want to say that in Paris Agreement 2015, what India fixed its target, India is among those few countries who achieved their target. We declared in Paris that in 2015 that India achieved to the production of 175 gigawatt, and India is very near to achieve that. As you have already stated in your statement, that what India announced it achieves 9 years before. Apart from that, our Honorable Prime Minister announced the National Hydrogen Mission also. That's an ambitious mission which is announced by the India. Second thing, which our country is doing, that we are also making a roadmap. And I strongly feel that around climate change, there is a under the responsibility of huge on the India to lead the developing countries. For that purpose, under the leadership of our Prime Minister, India also becoming a part of three major international environment action group. Along with Sweden, India made a group that's called a Lead IT. Recently, there was a good conference organized in the Stockholm 50 about the Lead IT, how we do green, how we use the green energy in hard to abate industries. Number one. Second, along with UK, India is also part of the coalition for disaster resilience infrastructure. In COP26 at Glasgow, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Prime Minister of UK and Australia launched a new initiative for technical assistance and capacity building in island states called the Infrastructure for Resilient Island States. IRIS is jointly funded by India, UK, and Australia and will be spearheaded by CDRI. The third also, that India also become a action group along with France, the International Solar Alliance, and recently more than 100 countries is the part of International Solar Alliance. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi also launched in COP26 the Green Grid Initiative, that means one sun, one world, and one grid. This initiative will bring technical, financial, and cooperation to help facilitate cross-border renewable energy transfer project, which will provide one sun, one world, one grid, its global infrastructure. This initiative was first announced by Honorable Prime Minister in 2018. Subsequently, UK and India decided to join hand. Decided to join hand and merge the UK Green Grid Initiative, and more renewable energy will be produced by this. So India is also a part of important environment action group. As mentioned by Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, India's commitment to environment protection has remained unaffected by the challenges posed by its civilizational history. However, it has never said by India that India denied its position at the global level. Yes, we want to contribute to meet out with the climate challenges as a part of solution.
Yeah. So because going through some of the initiatives you talk about, if at all there has to be a case study of India outbound story, the whole sustainable finance and green agenda could be one of the best outreach, global outreach which India has done. So India has ambition, in so many different industries. But listening to you and listening to some of the strategies by the Prime Minister is clearly articulated that it is green is where India is going to shine on the global stage, and some of the recommendations which you talk about are example of that. The next part about all this ambition is on the finance side. In Germany, Prime Minister also spoke about how the Western world and the developed world have to step up and fund those ambition. And there have been a lot of talks around this space, but less of action. India has done fantastic job on the policy side. What can India do on the finance side so that it is able to attract capital, not only in India, but across the world to solve this problem?
Finance and technology support are key enabler for ambition and action. If there is no clear roadmap in the provision of climate finance and technology support, you have also said that promises are not to be fulfilled, and I am also afraid that the outcome would be suboptimal. What I strongly feel is that, in all fairness, the range of steps that can enhance action is not limited to mitigation action alone, but also to enablement and support in terms of adaptation, finance, technology, and capacity building. For that purpose, so many decisions was taken in COP26 also. First, about the definition of finance. Yes, world must come on the consensus about the definition of finance. Second, the differentiation between public finance and private finance is also necessary. Third, we are more focusing on mitigation, but for the purpose of developing countries, it is necessary that adaptation finance is also important. So, as it's promised developing country, today now it's already under the review that UNFCCC must conduct it that $100 billion finance goal must be fulfilled by the developed countries. And we feel that this review must assess the three essential S, that is scope, scale, and speed of climate finance from developed countries to developing countries. And I think that a roadmap to raise climate change finance from floor of 100 billion to match the three essential S of climate finance and fair that always asked by the developing countries to deliver climate justice.
Yeah. So I hope that the way India managed to solve the technology and the policy mix, India can also solve the finance mix, which the world is going to benefit a lot. So let me move on to the last part of my conversation, and which you talk about COP26, and India led a lot of conversations in the COP26, and now we are getting closer to COP27. So I think all of us in this room will be keen to know what are the expectations from India at COP27.
So many good decisions taken in the COP26 also. First, I think that was the achievement of COP26, finalization of Article 6 and the Paris Rule Book, Article 6. And I think we will go ahead from Article 6, and that rule book will be come into the action also. Second, about the climate finance. Yes, there was an ad hoc committee on climate finance was formed. I think we fulfilled that target also. Third, every country also declared their targets of net zero. Definitely, their contribution will come. Next step of the in COP26, it was so much decision taken on the loss and damages. Yes, that also promised in COP27, and it's also declared that in COP26 about the Glasgow to Sharm el Sheikh documentation, I think that will be completed. As per the As for the global goal is for adaptation is concerned, a separate agenda was adopted recently in the concluded Bonn session prior to COP27. Adaptation requires balance and substantive attention in the UNFCCC process. We need to speed up the operationalization of global goal on adaptation by COP27 through securing adequate finance and technology transfer. We also look forward to COP27 in Sharm el Sheikh to focus on climate finance and adaptation agenda, both at the level of technical negotiation and political engagements.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So if I can actually sum up the conversation which we had so far with your inputs, I think India is on the way to democratize the access of green and clean technology to the world. And India, I hope, will not look itself as the market where the people want to come and invest, but also see itself as a position of leadership to give back to the world. And with all the countries playing together, I hope that we will be able to solve this whole climate problem. It's a complicated problem, but I think each country, each individual has to step up to solve. And I think India is doing its part, and hope everybody else will do that. So thanks a lot for giving us insight onto the India strategy on the green agenda. And have a great day in Delhi. And we hope to see you soon when I'm in Delhi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Namaste to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.